thrifting ain't easy, unless you're watching me. Welcome! You're watching the Thrift Store Rundown, where we bring Hollywood home on a budget. Have you ever shouted out loud, "I can't get no satisfaction"? Well, maybe that's because you haven't tried. Do you want to be a Rolling Stone gathering no algae? Or do you want to be a marble statue getting all the green as far as the eye could see? Yeah, I don't know what that algae is either. But what I do know is that this week is all about exploring different ways to find satisfaction. Guaranteed. Of course, your results may vary. But for certain, a scrumptious meal is a most satisfying way to jumpstart or end any conquest. And while this channel is by no means a vegan and or vegetarian-free zone, I need my meats, and Arby's just won't cut it, even though I've never been to Arby's. Yet. So we gotta go elsewhere to get our meats. And I think we reached the promised land, America's Test Kitchen, vis-a-vis Cook's Illustrated's Meat Book, the game-changing guide that teaches you how to cook meat and poultry with 425 bulletproof recipes. Purchased from Red Via Blue Thrift Store for $5.99 and retailing only in the States for $40. You know I get a most satisfying feeling finding big-ticket ATK or Cook's Illustrated cookbooks for minor ducats. Speaking of which, there are no dark recipes in here. The meaty recipes that you will find are pretty standard. At least in terms of the types of meat that you'll be using here. Beef, pork, lamb and veal, and poultry, chicken and turkey. We're gonna highlight 2 recipes per each chapter, for a total of 10 recipes in all. 1 lamb and 1 veal recipe included amongst 2 beef, pork, and chicken ideas. Double the satisfaction. After the preface by Christopher Kimball and a 27-page meat essentials guide, I have this piece of advice for you. There is a bestie in every butcher, so go find him or her, and then and only then will you be able to find your meaty match made in heaven in this gargantuan tomb. Like this grilled London broil, which serves 4. And as always, coming with a Why This Recipe Works section, and not only that, summarizing the testing and tasting process, but also down below, a few other paragraphs that summarize key techniques to learn when mastering these recipes. This comes with a sweet and smoky grilled tomato salsa as a condiment. Next, we have an onion-braised beef brisket, prepared on ATK TV by Richard Lancaster, who couldn't stop waxing poetic about how gorgeous it was and yada yada yada. See, like some meat. This will serve 6 to 8. There's also a variation for same-day onion-braised beef brisket, which you could do pretty much in almost half the time. Next, we have crunchy baked pork chops, prepared on ATK TV by Julia Collin Davison. Ah, these pork chops, aren't they handsome looking? They serve 4. I give honorable mention to pork chops with vinegar and sweet peppers, also serving 4, and also prepared on ATK TV. Always a bonus when I highlight America's Test Kitchen recipe featured on their award-winning public television series. Can't get enough of that. Like this pork schnitzel. Although I can't get enough of that, I had quite enough of Christopher Kimball saying the word fabulous about a dozen times in that episode. Go watch that with Becky Hayes, you'll see what I'm talking about. Anyway, I'm turning a couple of pages per each highlight because almost all of these recipes really are 2 to 3 pages long, including the photograph, and speaking of which, if I were to estimate the amount of photographs in here, the sumptuously delicious looking photos in here, all in full color, it would be a little under 3/4, which is a pretty decent amount for 425 recipes. Next up, a roast butterflied leg of lamb. definitely an Easter feast, even though we're well past Easter. But this will serve a crowd, 8 to 10. It's a roast butterflied leg of lamb with coriander, cumin, and mustard seeds. Here we have sautéed veal cutlets with prosciutto and sage. Yes, we've all heard of chicken saltimbocca and pork saltimbocca, but what about veal, where some people say it really all began? That may be debatable, but there's no debating that the flavors in veal or chicken or pork saltimbocca with prosciutto and sage, as the name implies, it means jumps in the mouth. Saltimbocca, jump in the mouth. Now on to chicken. Their best chicken parmesan, also prepared on ATK TV, and I'll serve 4. So as far as serving sizes go, they really do vary from an average family of 4 to a crowd 6 to 8, 8 to 10, a dozen people. The warps adjust accordingly. Lastly, French chicken in a pot. And can you guess what I'm about to say now? Yes, also made on ATK TV. It's poulet and cocotte, chicken in a pot, a classic French specialty. One that almost anyone can master, and in the long run, save $1,000 on a trip to Paris. Vis-a-vis Julia and Chris, Christopher Kimball, former host and bow-tie-in-chief of ATK, editor-in-chief, who, as usual, provides the preface, with a little bit of Vermont heritage. As far as the Meat Essentials Guide go, we have here 27 pages on how to shop, store, plan, prepare, and cook certain cuts, ribs, chops, different types of meat, you name it, indoors and outdoors. As I said before, there's a bestie in every butcher, so go make friends with them, and really, these pages will come to life for you in the best way possible. They also debunk certain myths when it comes to cooking meat. There's also a meat cookery manifesto, and of course, an outline of the essential equipment you'll need with a sparse amount of ingredient recommendations, certain brands that they recommend in the tasting lab, to really, for the most part, accentuate the condiments that are paired alongside some of these recipes. And for that matter, there's also a scarce amount, scarce or sparse, one or the other. But if you already have this and want to level up, they also have a meat illustrated cookbook, which we're on the hunt for. Less recipes, but in terms of layout and design and photography, maybe more plentiful and bountiful and colorful. I'll keep you posted, because we can't get enough ATK around here. They satisfy me in almost every way possible. I'm giving this 4.5 out of 5 claps. This also has black and white illustrations of certain meats and techniques for preparing those meats. A few side dishes would round out the meal rather satisfyingly, but you only get a small amount. In the end, in the words of Owen from Total Drama Island, this is meaty tasting to the max, and the kind of cookbook that sticks to your ribs and beyond. That's Cook's Illustrated's meat book. Let me show you what's on tap for Tuesday. I don't have a thing for Elizabeth Banks per se, but she's a halfway decent host, and I would definitely take a collectible plus of her over the Rabby. Thanks for tuning in. Just so you know, there's no limit to bringing Hollywood home on a budget. Please go ahead and check out another awesome review like this one by clicking here, and make sure you subscribe by clicking here. Until next time, I'll catch you, as I always do, on the flip side.